about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't. It just...
Hi everyone, hope you're doing fine. Welcome to this beautiful channel. Thank you so much for clicking to today's episode. So today I'll be talking about a certain message Michelle Obama did that has caused a massive communication on social media, whereby he told the white people to keep off from black people's hair. Don't touch it, just don't, and keep off from it. It has caused a lot of commotion. A lot of people are talking about this topic, but for me, I feel like sometimes, or in some professionalism, black people are forced to straighten their hair just to meet the white beauty standards. You can tell me what you think in the comment section. I really don't want to talk more about this episode. I want to let you first watch some clips that I've researched in relation to all this issue about both black people are talking about what Michelle Obama said, and some whites who are kind of afraid or who are disappointed by the message that she passed, saying that she is being racist. You can tell me what you think about this episode in the comment section. So before I let you watch the clip, it's a humble request. If it's your first time coming across to my videos, it's a humble request. You can consider supporting my channel by just subscribing. So let's watch the clips, then I'll come back with my commentary.
Disrespectful. Right? She was already starting off with a disrespectful air, trying to remove Michelle Obama's experience in favor of her own. Now, she is a curly natural, so I'm not saying that she's not part of the conversation. She is, but she erroneously has been centered in the conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and correct right now, because what we're not going to do is pretend that colorism and texturism have not been an integral part in being able to say who gets to have expressed self-esteem, and specifically who gets to talk about their experience. So when it comes right down to it, for those of you who don't know, I'm the author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black Woman's Guide to Unlearning the BS and Healing Self-Esteem. And in chapter 4, I talk about what we not going to do. And what we not going to do right here, right now, is pretend like colorism and texturism don't impact self-esteem. That it doesn't impact how we get to interact with other people outside, and that it didn't play a role in this here conversation. Now, here is the thing. Some girls get expressed self-esteem. And when I say express self-esteem, what I mean is they get to express that they have self-esteem. They get to act, if nothing else, like they are indeed the shit. And those girls are usually light-skinned girls with the so-called good hair, right? With the 3 C's, which happens to be what this poster is. Now, within that, the problem is that it's very easy then to be disrespectful of other people's experiences because you get centered in conversations, particularly around colorism and texturism, because still there's a coddling that goes on for our lighter skinned folk because we are also used to coddling white folk. Now, here is the thing with that. She gets to be disrespectful and dismissive of Michelle Obama, who is darker, who has kinkier hair, and completely remove her experience and the longevity of the life that she's lived because it doesn't fit with her current narrative that all the girls have a preference. Now, here's the thing. Preference does not trump programming. As a matter of fact, most of your preferences and some of the stuff that y'all be saying out here in these streets is all about the programming. It's none of it about the actual, what you actually would prefer. It's what you would prefer in the context of a white supremacist world who has denigrated your beauty from the beginning. Let's just say it like that, from the beginning. So this is how I responded to sis, to our good sis. Now, here's the thing. The whole point is, this is not to tear her down. This is not to bash her. This is not to talk shit. This is to make sure that we are understanding that there are that there's a history here with regard to texturism. Texturism doesn't stop existing just because more people so-called embrace their natural hair, because let's be real, when we're talking manageability, what we're really saying is I don't know how to manage it, and so I say that it's easier to manage a straight hair. It's not easier, it's different, right? It may take a little less time, but that's how well are you practiced in your hair texture. And for a lot of people, straightening their hair is a way that they feel like, number one, they can manage it better. But feelings are not facts, beloved. And what we're not going to do is replace the fact that you have learned and grown up with the dolls with the straight hair, that you've learned and you've grown up with seeing people with the straight hair, and then still say that this is more manageable than that. The fact of the matter is that a lot of naturals got into natural hair because they thought they was going to have hair like Tracy Ellis Ross and completely disregarded her parentage. Right? They think that they're going to get that pattern, and they're not. And even today, a lot of y'all will heap tons and tons of product upon your tresses to make it behave in a way that it does not want to. You're not learning how to manage your hair. You're learning how to use products to create a completely different texture so that you can feel more enamored with yours. That is texturism. Quiet as it's kept, some of y'all are out here using texturizers and pretending that it is your natural hair texture. That is texturism. We still are upholding texturism not only with our words and who we say has beautiful hair, but we are also upholding it with our behaviors, with how kinkier hair textures don't have value to some of y'all until it's longer. You despise the shrinkage. We have to sit in the why. And part of the reason for the why is because some of us have damaged self-esteem. Other people outside told us that we are not the shit, exactly as we are, without having to change a thing. And so we internalize the message, we believe it. And then we behave in a way as though to fix it. With heaps of product, with straightening our hair, with texturizers, etc. We do whatever we can. And we center people in the conversation whose hair and skin tone we wish we had. Because they get to express self-esteem in a way that dark-skinned girls don't. When dark-skinned girls express self-esteem, we tell them they uppity. We try to return them to the place that we believe that they belong to and try to get them to zip it and be quiet. Now, here's the thing. I simply believe that homegirl was just ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean she ignorant. I mean that she simply did not know, right? I don't know that she was intentionally reaching for disrespect. I think she found it, though. And I would also say this, that uninformed or misinformed does not mean or follow that the person was harmless. This was harmful because intent versus impact, right? Your intention doesn't mean that you didn't have a certain impact. And this was a harmful impact. It was dismissive of the experiences of people who are darker skinned and with kinkier hair than she has, who have been here on this planet just a little bit longer and had a different experience altogether. So on the one end, I want to applaud the natural hair movement for making it seem like, that this conversation ain't never been a conversation, that no one has ever had to do this work. But also, for someone who says that this is what they're into and not recognizing that the Crown Act exists because certain women are not allowed to wear their natural tresses in the workplace, it's like, beloved, be silent. If you don't know, be quiet. So I want to end with this. It is okay to say you don't know. It is okay to be loud and wrong and to be corrected and then to change your mind according to the new information that you receive. I want to remind you that doubling down when you're wrong is a choice, right? Thoughts, feelings, behaviors, beloved. Your feelings don't make things facts. Your thoughts don't always facts either. The behavior that you can choose to engage in is to research, to do a little extra homework, and then correct yourself accordingly. Because when we know better, we have the opportunity to do better. All right, y'all, you know how I like it. Discourse, not disrespect. Keep it cute in the comments.
Michelle Obama and straight hair. Let's talk about it. So I've been seeing a lot of commentary that what Michelle Obama is saying about Black women still having to straighten their hair in the workforce is no longer relevant. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. As a 30-year-old zillennial, yes, freshly 30 years old, I have had so many unnecessary comments when it comes towards my hair in the workforce. And I'm not talking about this pink braided situation you see in front of you. No, I have this hair now because I work for myself and I freelance. I am talking about when I worked in hospitality. And that's exactly why I actually wrote my film, Colorblind. Colorblind is an Afrofuturism film about a world in the future where everyone's forced to wear colorblind contacts. In the film, my character goes on a series of interviews. She faces very strange questions, some that happen to mainly regard her hair. I wrote that film after I actually had an in-person interview that went exactly like it did in the film. During this interview, I was asked, "Hey, can you change your hair?" And I was like, "Okay, you mean this wet and wavy hair?" And I'm looking at her like, "What?" And if you don't know what wet and wavy is, I'll put a picture of exactly what my hair looks like. I like to call it mixed girl hair. Most people who don't know what my hair actually looks like would assume this is my normal hair, like my actual hair. People look at my like skin and just assume I must have like a wavy hair curl. I don't. Okay, I have a full 4 days. At this time, I looked at her very strangely because I was like, this isn't even my hair. What are you going to say when I show up with my actual hair? This wasn't a job where I was dealing with food or my hair was going to be part of my performance, aka something physical. No, I was going to be working the front desk of a hotel, which at that point I had been doing for 4 to 5 years. I was more than qualified for the position. And also, I live in Washington, D.C., or right outside Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is a very democratic, very progressive, very diverse area, and I was still asked these series of questions. Another job that I had worked with this manager for 2 years, he came to me at one point because a customer had complained about the service I had given him. And part of his complaint was that my orange hair was unprofessional. I was wearing a honey blonde straight wig. If you don't know what honey blonde is like Beyonce, y'all, okay? He complained about my hair and equated that to being unprofessional. Oh, and you're wondering, like, how did I know this man insulted me about my hair? It was because my manager, who I had known for like 3 years at that point, was laughing. He laughed and then told me that the guy complained about my hair being orange. That same manager kept me in that same position for 2 years. He did not allow me to move up. Whenever I tried to transfer to a different hotel, they would find something to write me up about. Meanwhile, I'm the one training everyone at the front desk. How am I the one training everyone at the front desk, but I'm also getting write-ups? Make it make sense. There's so many Black women I even know who don't even know how to do their natural curly hair because they work in corporate America, which means 5 days out of the week, their hair must be straight or must be in some style that is deemed professional in their workforce. So that leads to them not even knowing how to do their own hair. Being on top of that, relaxers have been caused to be linked to cancer, which a lot of Black women who straighten their hair tend to have relaxers in their hair, so that way it's easier for them to straighten their hair and keep it straight so it doesn't turn curly or humidity doesn't get to it at the end of the day. Or hair straighteners, most Black women's hair, in order to straighten it, they have to put it at a very high heat. I have to put my straightener at 400 for it to even get a little bit straight, okay? So when we are complaining about these things, it's not just because it affects us. It affects our health. It affects our sister's health, our mom's health. It affected our grandmother's health.
Michelle Obama, Auntie Michelle, come to the front, come to the front. Michelle Obama tells white people to get the hell out of our hair. And some white people lose their godforsaken minds. You know what? This level of pettiness, rooted in authenticity, ring-fenced by truth, and barbed wired with I don't give a rat's ass, is the pettiness I live for. People, and you know, it's not so much what she said, but it is how she said it that really pisses them off. I love it.
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act?
Exactly.
An act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair. Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
Auntie Michelle has jokes. We love to see it. But where is the lie? Where is the freaking lie? Tell me. She's absolutely spot on. Don't tell us how to wear our hair. Don't touch our freaking hair. And enough with your goddamn curiosity about our hair when you've lived side by side with us for centuries. They don't like Auntie Michelle spoke the truth, the sassiness with which she spoke the truth, and the uppityness with which she delivered it. These white people will have you believe that no, this isn't true. It's bullshit. Because if white people were not so in our hair, why are black people and why have black people been fired from jobs for having ethnically styled hair? Why is it that black people are not offered jobs because of their ethnically styled hair? All in the name of it doesn't meet our professional white standards. Why is it that our black children are kicked out of school in the US and in the United Kingdom for wearing ethnically styled hair like dreads, cornrow, and braids? It is because white people want to control how we look, what we say, and how we express ourselves. They think that any form of expression is a form of protest. It is a form of protest because we demand to be us in the beauty and brilliance of our black identity. Can you remember when I said this during my TEDx talk?
Everything seems to be for grabs. Everything about us seems to be called for judgment. Even our hair. You get the, it's not very professional. Or you get the, it's not very tidy. Ooh, or get this one. It's just too versatile. You change your hair too much. Are you paying for it?
I see some of you racist dumbasses and racial gatekeeping fools are abusing Auntie Michelle, claiming she's faking victimhood and lying about white supremacy standards on black hair, all on the basis that she was black first lady. Come closer so I can slap some sense into your head. The only reason Michelle Obama is the first black first lady and her husband Barack Obama is the first black president is because of white supremacy. The United States has existed for 249 years, but it took till 2009 for there to be a black president. And we've all seen what white America has done since its first black president. It went MAGA. Let me just explain something to you. The existence of black accomplishment, black success, black growth is not evidence that racism does not exist. It's not evidence that white supremacy does not exist. It is evidence of black resilience, black strength, and black excellence in spite of the racism. Because no matter what you throw at us, we shall overcome.
Sitting there with the straight hair, telling the people not to do. And can I just say for the record, it is not just black people who have to deal with their hair a lot in the morning. All right? Now, people, I have something to tell you. This is not all mine. I mentioned it a lot on the show. But if you could see the number of little hell things in there that Sarah's got to deal with every day to try to cover them up so you guys think this looks natural. It is not just a black thing, Michelle. Sorry, Victor, go ahead.
Well, when I get up in the morning...
Thank you.
When I get up in the morning, I wish I had hair. I wish I had Michelle's hair other than this. But my point is this. I understand that she's insecure and she has 4 mansions. So when she's talking, I can't figure out whether she flew in from Martha's Vineyard, the Washington mansion, the Chicago mansion, or the beachfront mansion in Hawaii. And then she says this, and I was listening to the radio when this was on the story the other day. So I walk to my office. The first person I see is a beautiful Asian woman with straight hair. The next person I see is a beautiful Mexican-American woman with straight hair. The third person I meet is a guy that I knew who has very kinky white, he's white and he has curly hair. And I thought, well, white people don't have a monopoly on straight hair. So why are you saying this unless you have some problem? And the problem, I think, is my entire life, whether it was getting into Princeton or Harvard or getting the Nike account or something at my law firm or getting this huge job at the University of Chicago, it was always predicated on I could make white people feel guilty and that I was a victim, even though I grew up as middle class.
So she's saying this as she has her hair very straight. I wonder what white person she's trying to impress. I mean, at this point, I think Black people don't have to impress white people any longer. And I bring this up not to criticize her. I understand that, like, what our hair looked like has been criticized for a long time, right? But ultimately, even if someone is criticizing you and calling you ugly, there is a mental breakdown that can happen, right? If you don't believe that you are beautiful. Like, no matter how much someone criticizes, like, your children, you are 10 toes down fighting for them, right? So I think in the same way, like, you just have to find beauty in yourself. Like, you have to tell yourself that, because I'm sure a lot of us, I've struggled with this, just not loving what my hair looks like, wanting it to look like other things. I've worn wigs, I've worn braids, I've worn I've even shaved all my hair off several times. I've done a lot of things. I think the work is really, it comes from within. It's not like the pressure that other people are putting on us as Black women. It's the pressure that we are putting on ourselves. How many times have you seen a woman with natural hair, maybe their sides are not laid, and hear Black women talking about how horrible they look? We are our own worst critics as Black women. Like, Michelle needs to throw off that wig. I don't know if it's a wig or if it's her own hair. Maybe it's her own hair. Whether if it's a wig or not, whatever, she needs to throw that thing off and wear her hair naturally that comes from her natural head, like she said. Stop looking at white people or any other people for your beauty standards, because you are your own beauty standard. You look in the mirror and say, this is beautiful. I love what I look like. And if you don't believe that, convince yourself. Okay? Convince yourself, because the truth is, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not looking up and saying, wow, my mother looks beautiful, my sisters look great, my cousins, the women who look like me look good, then you're always going to be looking at other people. And you got to find the beauty within yourself, and not just physical either. I think that beauty is not only skin deep, it goes far beyond that, and it's from the very soul of a person. You have to look at yourself and know that you are beautiful.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the clips. So far, you can tell me what you think about this episode in the comment section, according to the clips that you have already watched from this episode. For me, I think that, like, in every environment, Black people are forced to shrink themselves in order to fit in some environments that weren't designed for them, or in some environments that were designed for the white people. And at some points, they are forced to straighten their hair due to professionalism, so that you can fit in a certain, or you can appear professional. In some of the clips, there is a lady who has said that she wasn't hired in a certain job opportunity just because she did not straighten her hair, which really turns out to be kind of racist, because you're being stereotypic about somebody's character, or you're judging somebody just because of their outlook. This person has done nothing wrong. This person has just presented themselves, but just because she has a fro, or her hair isn't straightened, you're just being stereotypic about it. Sometimes you find that it's associated with criminalism, like you just assume that this person is a criminal just because she has not straightened her hair. Michelle clearly, for me, I think the reason as to why this message has gone viral is because this is a situation where a lot of Black people have been suffering from it, but nobody has ever come out here clearly to clearly say what they feel or what they have been going through just because of their hair. And that is something that is totally natural and you can do nothing about it. You can't change. It will literally remain the way it is. I really don't understand why they have to force the black people to reach the white beauty standards, which they doesn't literally belong to. For me, I think Michelle clearly said just white people to keep off from black people's hair, because you can't change something that is natural in you. How do they even do it to change their hair to appear like for the white people? It's clearly crazy, right? You can tell me what you think in the comment section about this episode. For me, I think at some point they are being stereotypic, or in incidences whereby they don't consider the black people just because of their hair. It's kind of racist. For me, I find it being racist. You can tell me what you think about this episode in the comment section. And if it's your first time coming across my videos, it's a humble request. You can consider supporting my channel by just subscribing. That's all what I have to say about this video. I hope you have enjoyed and you have learned something. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. Let's meet on the next episode. Bye.